today's mindful moment, packed with insights but designed to fit into your busy life. One deep dive at a time. Is friendship always a good thing? I don't know. What about when being loyal to a friend means putting yourself in a difficult position?
That's a really interesting question, and it's exactly the kind of complexity that Rex Ogle tackles in his book, When We Ride.
Right. I mean, most of us think of friendship as a positive thing, right? But what happens when it kind of pushes you to the edge?
Yeah. And Ogle is really great at exploring those tough situations. I mean, he's already an award-winning memoirist and poet, so he knows how to get to the heart of things.
Oh, for sure. And in this fictional story, he dives deep into the bond between two guys. Diego Benavides, a high school senior who's trying hard to create a better future for himself, and his best friend Lawson, who's mixed up in the dangerous world of drug dealing.
Yeah. And right away, Ogle kind of throws you into the reality of their lives, the social and economic challenges they face. It's all there in the background, and it really shapes the choices they make and their friendship.
Definitely. And, the whole story is told in verse, which is super interesting. It gives you a close-up look at what's going on inside Diego's head, like his internal struggles.
Yeah, that's a great point. The Weverse format really lets you feel that tension he's experiencing, torn between wanting a good future for himself and staying loyal to his friend.
Exactly. And Ogle does a fantastic job developing these characters. Like, you totally get why Diego is so committed to Lawson, and you even start to understand Lawson's motivations, even though his choices are really risky.
It's a pretty nuanced portrayal of young people, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Trying to figure things out in really tough situations. And it's not all black and white either. Like, Ogle doesn't make it easy to judge these characters.
Definitely. He shows how friendship and survival can get all mixed up, especially when people don't have a lot of opportunities because of their economic situation.
Yeah. And it's fascinating to see how that pressure, that lack of opportunity, it reveals the strength of their friendship, but also those points where it could break.
Totally. It makes you think about the balance of power, in their friendship. Like, Diego sees education as a way out, a chance for a different life, whereas Lawson is stuck in this cycle of needing to make money fast.
Right. And their bond becomes kind of a battleground for these two different paths, and you see the compromises they might have to make.
It really highlights the difference in the choices they have, right? Like, Diego is focused on school as his escape route, while Lawson is trapped in this world where, dangerous stuff seems like the only way to get ahead.
Absolutely. It's like, society's kind of dealing them different hands.
Right. And it's not just about what each of them decides to do. Ogle does a great job of showing how their choices affect other people, too. Like Lawson dealing drugs, that has consequences that go way beyond him, impacting Diego and their families and the whole community.
Oh, yeah. The ripple effect. He definitely shows that. And speaking of consequences, the book really gets into the harsh reality of drug abuse and dealing.
Yeah, he doesn't shy away from that at all. He shows the dangers, the violence, how things can so easily spin out of control.
It's a very powerful and a pretty honest look at a world where, for some people, these risky activities can feel like their only option.
Exactly. It really challenges your assumptions. You start to understand the desperation that can lead someone to make those kinds of choices.
Right. And it's easy to judge from the outside.
Yeah. I was thinking, have you heard of that YouTube channel, Mindful Moments? It's like they do these AI-powered analyses of audiobooks.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen that. What about it?
Well, I was thinking it'd be interesting to see how they'd unpack a story like When We Ride, connected to bigger themes and stuff.
Oh, for sure. That kind of analytical view can really help you see different layers in a story. Things you might not even realize are there on your own.
Yeah, totally. Anyway, going back to the book, I think what really sticks with you is how ethically murky everything is for these characters.
You mean how they're always in these morally gray areas?
Right, yeah. Like, Diego's constantly battling with being a good friend to Lawson and wanting a different life for himself.
Right. It makes you wonder, like, how much should you sacrifice for a friend when their choices are putting you at risk?
Yeah, and what does loyalty really mean when you're in a tough situation like that?
It's a pretty deep question about responsibility and how far you should go for someone, even when their actions might mess up everything.
It's like this constant back and forth, And through it all, Ogle shows how important education can be. Like, Diego's dedication to his studies, it's like a beacon of hope, a contrast to the path Lawson is on.
Right. He's like showing that there's another way. So what are some of the key takeaways from When We Ride?
Well, first off, it shows how tough situations, hardship, can put a huge strain on friendships, even the strongest ones, and how it can lead to those friendships breaking down.
And then there's how your economic and social environment can actually limit your choices in life.
Right, and it doesn't shy away from showing the real dangers of drug use and dealing. Ogle's really honest about the consequences.
And of course, education is presented as a possible way out, a chance to build a better future.
Yeah. And I think the biggest takeaway is that people often face really tough choices, moral dilemmas, when they don't have a lot of options.
It's a story that makes you think twice before judging. You start to understand how these bigger societal forces are shaping the lives of these young men and how it affects the decisions they have to make.
Absolutely. A lot to think about. So we want to leave you with this question.
Hmm.
How much do the structures we live in, society and all that, influence the choices we feel like we have? And what's the real price of loyalty when it goes against what you believe in, against your hopes and dreams?
That's a really thought-provoking question. It gets to the core of how we understand friendship and loyalty, especially in a complex world.
It is, for sure. So if you're interested in digging deeper into all of this, we encourage you to check out Rex Ogle's When We Ride. It's a powerful book. We've got a link to buy it in the show notes.
Yeah, definitely give it a read and think critically about the important issues that Ogle raises.
Absolutely. And if you enjoyed this discussion, please subscribe and share it with your friends. Thanks for listening.